Welcome back to Unleashing. It has been a minute since I have made a video. I do apologize for that. The truth is, the video I was working on, I had intended months and months ago, maybe about 4 or 6 months ago, and as this progressed that I was going to do it, I just kept hitting roadblocks until finally I kind of got a no from God not to make the video. And as I've looked over the situation, I definitely can see why, and I think it's best. And he showed me a couple other things in the Bible and on the topic that I was going to talk about. It doesn't mean that what I was going to teach was wrong. It's just you're not ready for it yet, and for that reason it stubbed me. And when it did, I kind of had to rethink plans and stuff like that. And honestly, I've just been like kind of held back on it. So I was going to do this earlier today, and I didn't know exactly what I wanted to talk about because there's so many things going on. I'm watching everything, obviously, paying attention to the elections and stuff like that. But Chris just said something, and he wrote me, and it kind of inspired me. So I'm just going to call this a check-in video, I guess, just to kind of get back into the swing of this, hopefully. I've been so busy that it's really tough, but anyways, enough of that. With the elections and stuff going on right now, it's very close, and of course I'm watching all this stuff. Somebody just asked me not too long ago when I think the rapture is or whatever, and I've stated before, and I'm going to say it again, I personally am looking right now at 2026. I have a reason for that. The 2025 agenda with the population decrease and stuff like that, I think there's some really bad stuff coming, and I think that's the stuff that I was kind of hinted towards when I had my rapture vision, and I said, oh great, now this. I already knew bad stuff had been going on. It was kind of like I was in a terrible mood, right? And then aliens showed up, and I was like, oh great, now this. I've discussed it a million times. They have to bring America down, right? America's the last stronghold of resistance. Once they get that in order, boom, they can roll in the new world order. America is more than that, though. We're also an inspiration. Other countries look up to us, like, hey, if it gets too bad, America's going to do something, right? There's old roots in us that go back to defiance, because we were founded on defiance, all right, and rebellion against tyranny, okay, and that's just running so thick right now in our country, and it has been for a long time, right? And they've quelled us big time, all right, by pussifying the men and just feminizing everything that they possibly can. They don't want the fighters, all right? They don't want people fighting street fights or anything like that takes care of problems quicker. They know that, and by blocking a man's natural instincts, desires, and things that he has to fight, by blocking that, it creates kind of an internal rage and ends up playing to their favor later, because instead of going to what would be a normal boxing match or something like that, somebody's getting shot when they don't even need to, right? And it's even rewarded. You'll get less time for killing somebody than you will be for punching them, right? But anyways, what's going on right now with the elections, everything like that, I mean, they're trying everything they can to steal it. Kamala's an abomination, right? And Trump's doing everything he can, and it looks like he's going to win. What do I think is going to happen? There's a couple of scenarios that I think could play out here. One, he's already won. She doesn't even have 10% of the vote, right? Just there is no neck and neck or anything like that. No, Trump is totally won, just like he won in 2020, all right? It's already done. Millions and millions of people, they're only using the media to portray it like Kamala has a chance or something like that, and she doesn't, and the Democrats know it and everything like that, right? So there's a couple ways this can go. He either wins and they do the coup next year after he gets in, or they try a couple other techniques. I've heard of them. If they get the House order, they can try and say that he's an insurrectionist, he's not qualified for it, or they could cheat enough, try to, and then there's a battle back and forth. But one way or another, like, it's moving to something that's going to be the end of the road. This isn't going to continue on. Like, we're not going to see this in 4 more years. I truly believe this is like the last election phase that we have, all right? And then it's going to be done. Not only that, but it lines up with the 70-year generation. In 2028, it comes to the end, all right? So anyways, besides that, why do I say 2026? I've said it before. from 2026, it'll be 7 years to 2033, all right? Now, I've heard lots of different stories and ideas and things like that, but in the history books where they go back, it seems to qualify that Jesus really was resurrected and went to the grave in 2000, or not 2000, sorry, in 33 AD, all right? My point is, it's 2,000 years from that time leading up to that, okay? And for that reason, it's my first choice that 2026 would be kind of like the next last straw. And it would give one whole year, 2025, maybe a year and a half, for things to get really, really bad, which would also open up a window for people to get really freaked out and realize, oh crap, there's some real hard times coming, right? And when that happens, nothing leads people to God more. They start looking for answers, all right? For those that have never said anything, will not even talk to their families about God or anything like this will open up a window that would actually bring them to you, so that you could do something, all right? If you've prayed for loved ones that have not given their life to God and stuff like that, this would actually open up the window to bring them to you, and then you could say something, all right? And that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Another thing is I've been led to prep, all right? If we were just going to get out of here, I don't think that would have been put on my heart, and I would not have warned you guys about it, all right? To prep, have food, defensive measures and things like that, all right? And honestly, I've been concentrating on it so much that, I've kind of... I haven't even really looked at the rapture, right? I have looked at the rapture. It is septuple over time, and I have constantly thought for these past years since 2014 when I was showing it, like, we are out of time, there's no time, right? And now it's been 10 years since I saw that, which has also opened up the window for me to talk to the people that I have everywhere. I don't even know how many hundreds of people, thousands of people, in these last 10 years that just expanded way further than anything I could have ever imagined, right? But God opened that window, and if I wouldn't have thought that there was no time left, I wouldn't have been able to do that. And it seems insanity when I think back and look at it. I mean, I went back for everybody, not just 4 people, which was the original idea. I went back for everybody. For crying out loud, I even talked to my second grade principal. I mean, anybody that I could reach that I care about knew there was a chance, any quality whatsoever along the way. I would talk to them, as well as coworkers and stuff like that. So, but I feel like that chapter has closed, and I'm grateful for it because that was extremely difficult. And God's moved on to this next chapter with me. And what it's been lately, is just prepping and getting ready, because there's going to be some stuff that comes. But like I say, this could open up a window like never before, because when times are tough, when things are stressful, it's going to bring people to you, and they're going to want to know why you have that hope, right? And you can say that it's in God, okay? Which is the only hope in the situation that's coming, because it's going to be so bad, right? So anyways, after that, I would push to 2028. I wouldn't think that he would do it a year early. If it wasn't 2026, I'd be like, he's just going to take it all the way up to the front door, 80 years, and it would be in 2028, right? If it pushed past that, maybe 2030, but I don't think so. Things are so close right now, what we've seen and what that lady's vision was, what I was showing. Trump did get the presidency, and then they did a coup with the military to assassinate. I saw him take, and you guys heard the dream, but I'll share it again. I saw all his administration getting hunted down, dying in the process of escaping or being killed, and then Paul Begley had the hell beat out of him, and he was like on a ventilator, and I think it was a representation of truthers, Christian truthers that aren't ready, or thinking that it's going to be nonchalant, or they can go on just speaking the truth, and there isn't going to be consequences. No, they'll effing kill you for it when the time comes, and they're waiting to do it, which is why, it's like prepare. So, do what you can, be ready and stuff like that, but it's going to shift. When that happens, it's going to start to shift to the underground churches and stuff like that. People are going to be escaping your church congregations, the buildings and things like that. And this was going to be kind of what my video was going to be on, and that I kept getting stopped on. And it was going to be a continuation, basically, of the third video that I ever made, and I wanted to discuss on it, but what I'm trying to do is make Olympic swimmers, and God's like, no, still the life preserver. So, he knows better, and And so I've kind of held off on that, all right? And it's okay. I'm going to try and think of some other things, to talk about and stuff like that. And like I said, this is more of a checkup video, because once you get out of it, making videos, it's kind of hard sometimes to get back into the swing of things. And I just wanted to talk for a few minutes and see how it went. So anyways, and just kind of let you guys know what's been going on. I've been working, obviously, saving, prepping, and trying to prepare as much as I possibly can and things like that. But I watch everything. I'm seeing everything all the time, I see where it's going and everything, and it's not going to be good. Like I say, once this happens, once it goes down, like I say, if Kamala got in, it would be the end. Kamala got in, it'd be the end of the world. But if Trump gets in, they're going to do everything they can. There is no beating it. All right, there's no uprooting the deep state. It is so deeply embedded. Hydra is embedded in everything worldwide, all right? Every government, country, backdoors, everything you can possibly think of, they are embedded in, all right? There's no uprooting. Unfortunately, what this is nothing but buying time. God's just buying time for us. And always be grateful for that, every mercy that God gives, But in this time of buying time, get ready. Get your heart ready, get your mind ready, get physically ready, because it's coming and nothing will ever be the same again, all right? And it won't go back. Once the wars and stuff with Israel started, just like people had seen and were told, it's not stopping. It's going to keep continuing on, all right? The Gog and Magog attack is going to happen. That needs to happen 7 years prior to the end of all of it. So I expect that to be happening sometime soon. They're kind of waiting around right now, probably for the presidency to see if they're going to have backup for doing an attack on Iran or anything like that. But this is only going to lead more to the Russia, Turkey, Iran invasion that happens in Israel, all right? This stuff is going to happen. It's biblical. We see it moving in that direction, and it really hasn't slowed down or stopped. So, be as ready as you can. But as for right now, it's just kind of like it's in the breath before the plunge, honestly. Gandalf says it best,
It's so quiet.
It's the deep breath before the plunge.
And that's kind of where we are right now. That's exactly what's happening. It's the deep breath before the plunge. It's like the last moments. This is the moment on the roller coaster right before the chain lets go. And you feel that speeding up of it before the drop. And once that drop happens, it's going into the 7-year tribulation. It'll be the full roller coaster ride, and there's no getting off of it then. So I'm running out of daylight here, but be as ready as you can be with God right now. Continue to read, be self-sufficient, wean yourselves, if you can, wean yourselves from preachers and everything like that. Don't ever have anything get between you and the relationship with God. There's no power there. If you're going to another man, you might be learning or something like that, but until you step out with God, you can read the Bible for yourself, all right? You know what's coming. You're self-sufficient. Because when things go down, and they're going to, and you can't hear anymore, you can't hear from your favorite YouTubers or anything like that, all right? You can't get the information. It's just going to be you and God, and that strength that you have on there is going to be your test, because, the more you've been through it, the more you've walked with Him, the more faith you have to do the impossible, all right? And you're going to need it for when stuff gets bad, because it's going to get bad before it gets better, all right? And I'm talking about the rapture, because it's not getting better. It's going to get worse all the way right up to the end. The only thing to look forward to is the escape, all right? If you're kind of ready to escape it, and I pray every single day that I am. We all have things to work on, especially me, including myself, as well as other people. Everybody is doing something, but, we know that it's coming. All right, and it's not going to be pretty, honestly. It one way or another, like it's not. It's a lose. It's kind of a lose right now. But the whole Trump thing, like I said, it's just a buying of time. So when you see that buying of time, and everybody thinks, oh, things are going to go back to normal and stuff, the ditzy populace, all right, you quietly prep, use the time, anything that you can to get ready to go into some stuff, because that's exactly what's going to happen. There's no turning back from it, all right? It's just a little quick message. No real topic other than just, just wanted to catch up with everybody. I know people have asked me to talk and stuff like that. I've seen comments, and you guys haven't heard from me in a while, and I honestly needed to. I got set back, like you say, with the video that I was going to do, and then it kind of got stopped. So here I am, all right? You guys can thank Chris for this. He inspired me to do it. And then hopefully, if I can get the time to do it, I'm going to try and continue to make videos and stuff and keep updated. But like I said, right now it's kind of like I'm just watching and seeing how things are going right now. So hang in there. God bless. Hopefully catch you next time on the Unleashing, and be ready. Like I say, I've never wanted to be more wrong when it comes to rapture. If it comes before anything that I've ever said, I never am going to have a problem with that. I'm always going to be happy. But personally, I don't. I've thought that it was coming sooner so many times, and it never does. And the way that I see it, it's not going to. We're going to see a few things before it totally breaks, and then, like I say, it's an escape plan. You get out when it gets nasty. And I had personally knew that crap had been bad. It was tough, and like I said, by the time the UFOs showed up, I'm like, great, now this. And then it happened. Surprisingly, it caught me by surprise. but I knew, and I've always known. I mean, we're in that window, we're in that hour, it really was going to happen. So don't listen to naysayers. Stay away from the once saved, always saved. Walk the walk. If you've seen people around you, all right, that are in the once saved, always saved God, and God has moved them, used them, blessed them, all right? Think about it. Look at the once saved, always saved that talk about things. You guys know at this point who I am, what I can do, the gifts that God has given me, all right? You don't see that in the once saved, always saved community. There isn't those type of gifts, all right? But if you're walking with God, if you're doing the right things, there are, all right? That should be all you need to know right now to stay away from that hyper grace message, okay? And there is grace, all right? And it's for every time you stumble and fall, but you got to walk. You got to be in that fight. Even if you fall a million times, there's that grace that he has for you, all right? And that is what that message is for. Where it gets dangerous is where you say, well, I don't have to fight. Everything's going to be okay. It'll be just fine. I'm under grace. And that's where you get into that hyper grace. It's dangerous that I've warned so many times about. Stay away from it, all right? Don't fall into it because it'll get you left behind. And like I say, I already saw so many people get left behind. It's terrible, and I don't want that for anybody, all right? God bless. I'll catch you next time on the Unleashing. Glad I could get this out before the sun went. Well, the sun's already down, but before it got too dark. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot. Bye.